Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I hope you are well. It is Wednesday and it is 62 degrees outside. It's not as chilly as it could be, but it's still a little chilly for me. We are headed into Central Phoenix right now. I tried to have some of my probiotic drink this morning with my vitamins, but it was all lumpy, so I just poured it out and just had water. And I had me a cup of coffee here at the Holiday Blend. I hope you all had a good Veterans Day. Ours was nice and quiet. We just kind of hung out at home together and enjoyed the day. So let's go put on some news. Hopefully there's some good news.
You're going to necessarily take to the skies.
No, it doesn't. I'm LaDonna Harvey. Good morning, and it's good to have you here. Lawmakers in the House are set to make a deal to reopen the government, with no deal on extending subsidies to keep health insurance premiums from skyrocketing for millions of Americans.
Johnson has now got to call them all back to D.C. urgently to get back here and vote by today. And that has already proven to be a challenge. Why? Because air travel in the country is so chaotic right now because the government is shut down. So it's not necessarily a question of if it will pass. It's a question of how quickly can you get everybody back.
That was ABC's Jay O'Brien.
So the government may be on track to reopen, but for air travelers, the turbulence is far from over. Our own Colton Krolak is live in the news center with that story.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Roughly 17,500 flights were delayed across the country yesterday, and nearly 1,900 were canceled. Phoenix Sky Harbor continues to be impacted, with 42 more cancellations so far today. According to FlightAware, the FAA increased flight reductions from 4 to 6% yesterday, and now plans to cut 10% by Friday. And while the shutdown may be nearing an end, the issues it's caused aren't, according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
We used to have 4 air traffic controllers retire every day. We now have 15 to 20 air traffic controllers retiring a day. Long after you all finish covering the shutdown, we are going to be stuck dealing with this problem where we're about 2,000 controllers short.
Duffy's urging the House to vote to reopen the government, or else he says there will be major issues ahead of Thanksgiving, including concerns some airlines could opt to ground their planes altogether in the short term. Live in the News Center, Colton Krolak, KTAR News.
Coming up on Arizona's Morning News, an Arizona U.S. representative may finally be sworn in today. Plus,
staff benefits on hold until Thursday at midnight by the Supreme Court out of hope that the government will reopen by week's end. I'm Brandon King.
More than 1,000 Arizona teachers have left the profession since July. How do we keep our teachers? I'm Shira Tanzer.
Right now, it's John Roller live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Good morning, LaDonna. We're off to a very orderly start. I'm taking a live look at the southbound I-17 south of the Stack as you come through the Durango curve right at 19th Avenue. Commercial vehicles are taken to the roadways, but very smooth right now. Only moderate slowing south of the Stack through the Durango curve. That is it. Westbound 60 coming in from Tempe through the Broadway curve, looking good. We do have a crash off right near 40th Street, but not holding anything up. And the 202s, the Red Mountain and the Santan, looking good as well. John Roller, KTAR News.
It's been a warm start to the week across the valley, with afternoon highs holding in the mid-80s again today. But big changes arrive this weekend as rain chances return and temperatures take a dip. I'm ABC 15 meteorologist Jorge Lourdes.
At 5:03, it is 54 degrees in North Scottsdale.
Well, Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva will finally be Congresswoman Grijalva this afternoon. She recently told KTAR News she has a lot on her plate as she tries to settle into the new job.
We definitely am going to be signing a few discharge petitions, including the FD files. I'm going to be looking to sponsor legislation to ensure that no other member-elect is ever in this position again. And also legislation to prevent us from going into shutdowns like this.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to swear Grijalva in ahead of the U.S. House vote on the deal to end the shutdown.
More snapping back and forth over SNAP benefits. The Supreme Court yesterday issuing a hold
until Thursday at midnight on fully releasing SNAP payments to states.
KTAR legal analyst Barry Markson tells Outspoken with Bruce and Gatos the Supreme Court has repeatedly taken appeals from President Trump on rulings he does not agree with, including the recent blocking of SNAP disbursements.
If the shutdown doesn't end, this would allow the president to not pay SNAP benefits.
That said, Markson believes the Tuesday block was made out of hope that the House of Representatives and the president will end the shutdown by week's end. Brandon King, KTAR News.
People don't need a 50-year mortgage to make housing more affordable. The Cromford senior housing analyst Tina Tambor says lowering mortgage rates is a much better solution.
We're outperforming 2022, 23, and 24 in fourth quarter contract activity just from the mortgage rates coming down.
President Trump recently proposed 50-year mortgages as a means of bringing those home prices down. Tambor says she knows the market is slow to correct itself, but patience is better than meddling.
A new bill aims to let veterans calling the VA know how long they'll be on hold.
Arizona Senator Mark Kelly and Louisiana Senator John Kennedy are calling the bill the Stuck on Hold Act. It would require the VA to tell calling veterans an estimate of how long they would wait to be connected. If the estimated wait is longer than 10 minutes, it would offer callers the option to receive a callback. Currently, there are no rules standardizing customer service experiences across the federal government. Supporters include the Tragedy Assistance Program and the American Legion. William Padmore, KTAR News.
I gotta say, if I ever call my pharmacy, they always tell me how long I'm going to be on hold. Why does the federal government have to do that?
Well, and a lot of them will even say, you're going to be on hold a long time. We can call you back.
Yeah.
Yes,
that'd be nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Colorado River Indian tribes made history by granting the Colorado River legal personhood status. This means the river now has rights under tribal law, and future councils have to consider its needs when making decisions. Leaders say the move will help combat climate change impacts and protect water resources.
Eyes on education. More than 1,000 Arizona teachers have left the classroom since July, and one teachers union is sharing how to stop this exodus.
According to State Superintendent Tom Horn, 763 teachers resigned before the school year even started. That's on top of an already existing teacher shortage in the state. Marisol Garcia, president of the Arizona Education Association, explains the economy is the main factor in why teachers are leaving.
Cost of housing has gone up, cost of groceries has gone up, cost of health insurance continue to potentially rise, and they're starting to talk about this at district levels, that they're going to have to change health insurance.
Garcia says to fix the problem, sitting down with legislators and school officials to find a permanent funding option for public schools is necessary. Shara Tanzer, KTAR News.
Coming up, well, if the government shutdown ends, flights go back to normal, right?
No.
Immediately.
No, they do not.
Wait, what?
When will they return to normal?
I don't even know what normal looks like anymore.
I don't think anybody does. All right, let's see how normal-ish the roads look. Let's check in with John Roller in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Yeah, right now they're very normal. We're off to a good start this morning. If you're getting ready to head out the door and roll down the highway, nothing but green conditions right now as far as the main lines are concerned. If you are headed northbound out of town, maybe up to Sedona or Flagstaff this morning, we do have a spot of slowing in the Anthem area, right by Gavilan Parkway there. There is some construction and some slowing there, but that is it as far as the main lines. East Valley, you are looking good. The 24 looking good. Same thing with the 347 out of Maricopa. And the surface streets are quiet as well. Traffic is brought to you by Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Join Stuart Willis for the Asset Preservation Hour each week as he empowers and educates those in or near retirement. Sundays at 2 p.m. right here at KTAR. John Warner, KTAR News.
Look for a high of 86 with partly cloudy skies today. Mostly cloudy with a high of 86 tomorrow. And then Friday and Saturday, rain. Seriously, rain. And maybe all weekend long. Your weather is brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions supply.
Holidays need more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and orange buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill, start with Stable. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the 25th anniversary of ABC 15's Operation Santa Claus, presented by Sanderson Ford, Sanderson Lincoln, and U-Haul. Make a donation of food, new toys, child-sized clothing, or money, and you can win a new Ford F-150 Super Crew truck or a Lincoln Corsair SUV. The more you donate, the more chances you have to win. All donations benefit St. Mary's Food Bank, Military Assistance Mission, Southwest Research and Resource Center, Special Olympics Arizona, and the New Life Center. Bring your donations to Sanderson Ford, Sanderson Lincoln, select U-Haul locations, or make a donation online. For more info, go to givetotheclaus.com.
Former Arizona Governor Doug Ducey joins us to talk about the current political climate and what he's up to now. We do it on the Mike Burnett Show this morning at 8:30.
512 in Cave Creek. Good morning, Cave Creek. Thank you for listening to Arizona's Morning News from the KTAR Business Center. Japanese semiconductor supplies, Fujifilm Electronic Materials is planning on building out its Mesa distribution site. Our partners at the Phoenix Business Journal tell us the company has proposed 85,000 square feet of development at its 60-acre campus on East Pecos and South Mountain Roads. Mesa's Planning and Zoning Commission will hear the proposal at today's public meeting.
All right, we had a record-setting day for the Dow yesterday, and futures are looking good. 54 is what we're up on the Dow, 14 on the S&P, and 103 on the NASDAQ. For more money news, visit the Business Center at KTAR.com.
KTAR News Flash. At 512, this is what you need to know right now. The longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history appears to be nearing an end, but not without leaving a mark in an already struggling economy. About 1.25 million federal workers missed at least 1 or 2 paychecks. Thousands of flights have been delayed, canceled, and food benefits have been cut. We'll talk about those flight delays and cancellations next.
A federally imposed deadline on Colorado River rights came and went yesterday. 7 states, including Arizona, were supposed to agree on who gets what. The Colorado River provides roughly a third of Arizona's water supply.
And we may be in for a winter storm here in the valley starting Friday and running through the weekend. Winter hitting the south, the country, across the country, the southeastern
24 to 48 hours, at least 70% of their back pay. But it's going to take several more days once that happens to get these planes back up and running to full operation. The airlines have to move planes around, they have to move crews around, they have to adjust their schedule, and that simply takes time. But each day will get better, and just with the news that the government may reopen, these air traffic controllers are starting to return to work. Yesterday, we saw just 4 staffing issues across the country. Compare that to Saturday when we had 81.
Wow.
Now, how is this, not that we care, but how has this been affecting the bottom line of the airlines?
Look, the airlines, they've lost a lot of money. When you're canceling thousands of flights, your crews are out of place, you're paying your crews per diem, it's cost them millions. We won't find out the exact numbers until they report their earnings to and fill out what's called an 8K. It's an SEC filing. They can't say exactly how much they've lost, and they still have to quantify it. You know, this is still going on. The flight cap at 10% is still in place. It's going to ramp up to 10%, I should say, on Friday. Right now it's at 6%. But Sean Duffy says he's not going to remove that 10% cap until he is sure that the towers are fully staffed and that the system can support all of these planes in the air. Until then, we're going to see 800 to 1,000, possibly more cancellations every day. The good news is with these cancellations is that they're pre-planned, so there's not so much chaos at the airport.
Now, I was just being snarky there, by the way. So this affects
because, and here's why you shouldn't be too snarky, because if they're losing money now, they're going to make up for that later, charging you more, right?
And you wonder about the flight crews themselves, because you know you concentrate on the air traffic controllers, the TSA, but these flight crews are probably losing money too, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, when a flight attendant, for example, doesn't get paid until the parking brake is released and the plane is in the air. You know, some airlines have just started paying flight attendants for boarding, but if they're not flying, then they're not getting paid. It's just a really bad situation for the passengers, the crew, the controllers, and even think about the people in the airport. You know, they've lost a lot of money. If you work at Sky Harbor and you're the person who's shining people's shoes and there's thousands of less passengers walking past, you're impacted too. Everybody is touched by this.
Yeah. We're talking with ABC News Transportation Unit correspondent Sam Sweeney about when things might finally return to normal when it comes to air travel, with hopes that the government shutdown actually might even end tonight. Sam, you kind of said something along these lines, but has the FAA indicated when they expect things to return to normal, or is it just when they feel like things are safe?
They say they will look at the data. You know, we're already short air traffic controllers on a good day. So you have to make sure that everybody's back, everybody is, you know, in compliance. You know, certain people have been out longer than others, certain trainings need to be met, and that could take a couple of days, you know, past the opening of the government. We just have to wait and see. We're in, you know, I hate to say it, but a holding pattern here.
Yeah.
Well, and Duffy, it also...
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day and be safe out there.